your scrapping nerd, and I thought I would do a layout share for the layouts that I got done for 31 days of cut files with MK and Janet. And I only got half of them done, but they're a lot of fun, and I think that might be the most that I got done being part, like in the month that it's supposed to be done. So I wanted to share them all so I can get them put into the layouts. Make sure that you check the description box below, and there'll be links to the playlist for the 31 days of cut files. There's the links to MK and Janet's YouTube channels, as well as MK's Shop Some Assemblage Required if you want to purchase the cut files or any of the other amazing things that she has. And so we'll start with this. This is the day one cut file, was this circle one here, and I cut it down. This is, I think, like 4x4, maybe 3.6 by 3.6 or something. And I did it part of my Pocket Full of Fun series that I'm doing, where I am trying to get the pictures that I put in my pocket pages used up, or not used up, but finished. And so this one has a little flip out, and you can see that I used the cut file in multiple places. This one I cut portions of, and this one as well. This is just pictures in the Dominican Republic. Oh, see, I haven't done this side yet. I just did this side. Pictures in the Dominican Republic of all of these pretty flowers that my husband took pictures of. And so I have them in the pocket page, and then I needed to make myself use them, which is why I started the series. And so it's a lot of fun, but it takes me a while because it's kind of like doing individual layouts. And I used the Flower Emporium collection from Vicki Boutin for this one. And it's really fun. Like I actually cut out the shape of the flower, because these ones had like really big black backgrounds, because my husband took such a close picture. But it was fun to have that cut out and put the cut file there. And so that is that one. And so see, I will have to do this side soon, which is all the animals that were there. And then this one is also in the Dominican Republic, and this background is the cut file for day 2. And see, I started off strong. I think I got the first week done every day, and then I start tapering off towards the end of the month. But this was an old collection from Graphic 45, and I don't remember the name of it. All of these have process videos, so if you want specifics about a certain layout, go ahead and go to that video. Otherwise, you can just ask me in the comments and I'll answer. But I thought that for this cut file, I have a hard time with backgrounds. They're really hard for me, and so I thought I would put this really pretty, because it's Graphic 45, and so their papers are really pretty, but they're very concentrated. Like there's a lot of stuff going on, so I thought I would use that kind of behind the cut file, and I thought that would make it look kind of jungly. And then I used some stencil and some distress inks to stencil on top of the cut file, and just pulled in some of the ephemera from the collection. I think this is from another collection. I can't think of the name, but just so I had some other bits to put in here. And this is when we were on our tour to the waterfall slide in the Dominican Republic. So I like how that one turned out, and I thought that it was perfect, kind of very jungly for these jungly type photos. Okay, and then this was for day 3, and day 3 was the numbers that looked like candles for well, any kind of celebration. And so when I saw this, I thought of birthday, and so I used the 8s and the 0. This is my best friend's mom and her son, and they had a crazy 8 party because mom was turning 80 and her son was turning 8. And so I thought this was a fun way to use her cut files, or their cut files. And so I backed this in some yellow, and I put some Wink Stella, the gold, on there, and then I used some Nuvo drops to mimic icing, and I just covered the cut file there. And then this is a craft a clock with these cut aparts collection that I mixed in with another, I want to say maybe Simple Stories collection. And so that's fun. And I did some stenciling back here. But I really like how that turned out. And then I liked the cut file here. And then I did the same. This was for day 4. The same party, so I used kind of the same idea, and this was a background, and like I had said, I have a hard time with background, so I just cut out the candles from the background and backed them, and then I cut them apart so that I could kind of stack them, and this one's up on foam. And then it was funny because for here I used the same technique with the Nuvo drops, but I had used Distress oxides to color the candles because I had cut them out in white originally. And so I didn't realize that the Nuvo drops are kind of see-through, because I mean it's the same over here, like I did the same thing, but this I didn't use Distress oxide on the cut file, it's just this shiny underneath. And so here I did the same thing, but then the Nuvo drops came out the color that of the candle it's on, which works out just fine, but I just didn't realize that they were kind of opaque like that. But I like how this turned out, and this is just, again, some bits and bobs from some Craft a Clock and I think Simple Stories, and then this was a Thicker's title, but they will be next to each other in the album, so I like that it kind of matched, and I did the same kind of stencil work there. And then this one was day 5 cut file, and it was more of like a pyramid of these presents, but I cut them apart and I backed them so that I could kind of have more of like an L shape of the presents, and kind of so they wrapped around there. And it's me and my mom and my dog Yoda at Christmas, and he's ridiculous with his little headband on. I just love it. But this collection, I don't remember, maybe Simple Stories, maybe Echo Park, but it worked really good to document this. It's just a fun layout, and I really like how these presents, I originally was going to do each of the presents a different pattern, but I really like the idea of like the floral and then the polka dots and the floral and the polka dots. It kind of just made it less busy. And then having this green background made it so that I could, put so much. And if you're around my channel, I say it all the time, I'm a more is more scrapbooker. So you definitely have to appreciate the pile everything on till the eyeballs hurt kind of way to like any of my layouts. But this one definitely, when I start getting multiple patterns and many of the ephemera bits and tucking them into things and everywhere, is definitely my signature style, is just to vomit all of my ephemera on my pages. But I just love it so much. And I scrapbook for myself, so so that's, nobody has to love it, but I just love it. And it's because I love all of the ephemera. I love it all, and I just want to use it all. But anyways, so then this one is day 6, and it was this cupcake cut file, and this is documenting my niece-in-law and nephew-in-law's baby shower, and they did a Pooh theme. And so I had found these like centerpieces at a thrift store, and I thought, well, that's perfect, I can use that to put on a layout for their baby shower. And I just used the different like some hexagons here, and then I talk about in the video that I immediately just made these acorns, and then they're supposed to be strawberries because it's a strawberry cupcake. And I hate to admit the fact that I didn't put that together really until I was watching other people's videos and them talking about the strawberry cupcake. So it's either you can see that they're acorns, or you think I have moldy brown strawberries, but I like how it turned out. And I think one of my comments, they said that, Pooh was in the forest and there's acorns in the forest. So I appreciate my subbies making crap up for me to make me feel better about my brown strawberries. But I also put these little flat back pearls on the cupcake to mimic sprinkles, and I scattered some bees around, and I had these in my stash, and I don't know if they're a K& Company, I feel like, but I like how this turned out, and it got those 2 photos. And this is my husband's brother and his sons here, and then their fiancés. And so it's a cute layout. I like how it turned out, and I like my moldy strawberries. So then this one is day 7, and it was this calendar. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, I should document our anniversary. And then this is the spice collection from Graphic 45. And I love the colors in this collection. So I cut out the calendar in an orange, and then I stamped the number 2 on the star here and popped it up because our anniversary is the 2nd. And I was so proud of myself for using a stamp because I had them and I never use them, and so I need to start using them. And I used some brads, which is another thing that I have that I need to use more often. And so I like how this turned out. It's a cute little page, and again, I just love this collection, and I really like backing the layout and having that thin border around with another color, and then kind of pulling that into the layout. And I just kind of cut around that. So that one's cute. I like that. My husband's so handsome, all dressed up. He took us to a bougie restaurant. We're not bougie people, but I love that he took me to one for our anniversary. It's cute. So then this one is going to be day 8, and it was this star, or this starburst, and I immediately think of fireworks. And so I cut it out with the Cricut, but then I used it as a stencil, and I stenciled over this this paper here. And this is my dog Yoda, and he has his 4th of July bandana on, and it's cute. It's like little dog paws, and he's so happy to be on it. And I put him on our fireplace that I decorate for, well, I decorate for all the holidays, but this is the 4th of July one. And so he puts up with me because then I give him a cookie after I dress him and take pictures. But this was fun. I don't normally do anything with triangles, and when I look at this, I can kind of see how it's a little bit wonky because I don't do triangles for that reason. But I do like how this turned out, and this collection is just cute. And I had to put the little goat with the hat on. I just was like, okay, that has to go on here. And then if I have the goat, I have to use the barn. And so I'm trying more and more to not focus so much on being too themey, and just, you know, the goat with the dog is fine. And then I used the goat paper here, so it still matches. And then I did drops, like Nouveau drops around the layout. And then this just says 4th of July. I think this was a Thickers with some stars, and so that's just a cute, fun layout. And then this is day 9, and this is a heavy layout. I put a lot of layers. I even gutted some of them, but it still came out pretty hefty. And this was the cut file, and it was like this big one, and then it had the smaller loop. And so I cut it out twice, and then I cut it apart. So I have the one big part and then 2 little ones, and then the other big part here. And I used my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit that has all my Vicky Bouton collections in it. And and I have a bunch of scraps from that. So I got to do a bunch of the flags here in different colors and different patterns from there. And this is my husband and I, we were in, I think that this is Puerto Vallarta, I think. But again, see, I have to journal, guys, and every time I do a layout share and I haven't got to the journaling part and then I forget, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to make sure to journal. And I'm just awful at that. But I loved it. We were in this shopping center, and they had, like, the courtyard was open, but they had put all these colorful umbrellas across there, and I thought that was so cute. And so that's a picture of that. And then this is like at the ice cream shop that's in there. And then I loved that the ephemera had a umbrella. So that's a fun layout. But yeah, see, I gutted it, but because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers, it's a little bit of a hefty layout there. So then this is day 10. I'm still doing good. And to have a layout every day is really hard for me. So I'm very proud of myself for as much as I got done in a row. But this one is my husband and I in New York, and we it was cold and windy, and so this is the cut file for the day 10. And I thought, oh well, that's perfect because it's all stormy, and this is the picture of us on the tour bus, and you can tell it's been rainy back, like all the water back there, and then my husband has a beanie and we're all bundled up, and so I thought that was a perfect one for this. And I had cut it out, and it didn't connect right here because it had some raindrops, and so I just covered up with my ephemera, and then I cut some raindrops from the Cricut and made a stencil, and then did that. And then this I loved because this is exactly the bus that we're on, and just put a bunch of different pattern papers. And then these were just some clear stickers I had that I think are actually like planner stickers, but I thought that was fun just to put on the top and bottom of one of the scraps. So I like how that turned out. And I tell you in the video, I put some Nuvo drops here, and then I went to fix this and I smudged my Nuvo drops, so I had to create a little embellishment cluster above the bus because there was smudged Nuvo drops. And I did put some Nuvo drops on the moon up here too, and some glitter paper. So I like how that one turned out. Cute. I say it all the time, I like how they all turned out, but I'll keep saying it. So then this one was the day 11, and this is gonna be the last one, and then I fall off where then I sporadically get some days in there. But so this one had a snowflake cluster, and so I cut it out, I think like 3 times, so that I could cut and use the different snowflakes kind of scattered all around. And I used one of my winter collections, I think this was in Echo Park, because I don't really have winter here. And this is a picture of my husband and I. We were at Zoo Lights, and so we're sitting in front of these 2 snowmen, and so I thought, you know what, that's a good reason to use a winter collection and to use these snowflakes. And I cut them out in some like shimmer paper. I don't know if you can really see that there, but that kind of adds something. And then I did a lot of stenciling and using embossing ink in the back here so that it looks like it's still snowing. And I really like how that turned out. It says freeze in season because this is a heated jacket, and I am always cold when it's below 75 here, and I always love saying that. And then I have all of my subbies that are from like really actually cold parts of the world, and I'm sure you just roll your eyes at me because I'm like, if it's breezy and 75, I need to cover myself. But it gets to be like 120 here, so the range shows that I'm cold. And so I thought that was a fun way to use the winter collections that I don't get to use a lot of. And so then we go to the typewriter, which was actually day 17. So you can see that the snowflakes were day 11, and then I got to day 17. And so, sometimes life just doesn't let me just sit and scrapbook every day. But this was a really fun layout to make. This is documenting my first author paper. And I thought it was fun to print a picture of the article and stick it in this typewriter. And the cut file was actually a large one, and so I shrunk it down, and it was like very gently taking it off the Cricut so it wouldn't break things. And there's some parts that I lost, like here, but this collection is the Academia collection from 49 and Market. And so it's kind of like an old kind of distressed look to me. And so oh, that one's falling. And so I cut it out, and then I added distress ink, and then I did splatters on it so that it also looked old. And then I just pulled in some fun little embellishments that I have in my stash that are science oriented, because I have a bunch of science oriented stash. So yeah, and then this is the journal cover that my paper was in. So love that I got to get that finally documented. Okay, and then this one was day 18, and it was this was the cut file here, and it was a border cut file. And so I decided to cut it in half, and I backed them, and I used alcohol markers to color this because I cut it in white. And I have these alcohol markers, and I've never used them. Don't tell my husband, but I never used them. And then I decided I would color these. And you know, I hate when you color with markers and you get like the streaks. So you have to kind of either color, you know, all kind of one direction so you don't get the streaks. That's why I didn't use them. But I understand now why people love the alcohol markers, because they blend together. I didn't have any streaks, and I am not good at coloring. I can stay in the lines, but that's about it. You guys do some amazing things, like I want to be able to stamp something and then color it and blend it. It's just, you guys are amazing. And so I was like, well, we'll see how this works out. And it actually, the alcohol markers work really well. So I was like, oh, now I understand. And this was another one of me using my How to Kill a Kit with Style Vicky Bouton collections that I have. And so they all kind of mix together. This is one of my best friend's daughter. It's her first day of school, first day of kindergarten. And so that was fun to get documented, and I loved it with this, and it made it colorful. Okay, and then this one is day 19, and then this is using the Academia collection again. And this was fun to just create like this little cluster, the desk, the apple, the books, the owl. Again, I don't know why the owls have anything to do with this, but I'm still on, you know, like I said, I'm trying to get my stuff used up. This is the cut file, and I used a piece of acetate to put behind the glasses, and I don't know if that comes across in the video, but it kind of adds just a shimmer to the glasses. And I backed this in just some plain kind of paper. I didn't want to make that too not noticeable is not the word, but too much, because I had so much going on. And I like this page, and I did it. And then when I was doing my voiceover, I'm not sure if it looks like the books are flying. Like, you know, I like this. I liked my cluster. This is my best friend's son graduating, and my husband and I were wearing his face on our shirts. And so it's one of my favorite pictures. And this collection worked really well because it has all these kind of graduation type things to go with it. And when I was making the layout, I love it. And of course, I'm not changing it. But I don't know if this looks like the books are flying. So tell me a comment, because I'm trying not to let it bother me. But when I was doing the voiceover for the layout after, you know, and I had done this before the voiceover because I get backed up, and then I'm doing it and I'm thinking, that was a choice. But I still like it, and it won't change. And I put these leaves kind of around it, but I just thought that was funny. I'm like, maybe it looks like the books are flying. And then we move to day 24, which is this one that's outside my window, is the cut file. And I love how this one turned out. I decided to use my 49 and mark it. I think it's like Gentleman collection, and it's a dog oriented, but it has all these different patterns. And so this was fun. And I did the cut file on my Cricut, and I cut it out in the different papers that are with the collection. And I just would cut it out, you know, I'd put this paper and cut out the cut file, so I had this part, and then do the outside my window part. And so I like how that turned out, and it made it match. And this is a picture of Yoda, my dog, and he's at the window, and he's always staring down the cat that's outside. And so I thought that was a fun take on the cut file. Instead of being like an outdoorsy type layout, it's just of Yoda staring out his window at that cat. So that's a fun one. And then lastly, I did day 31. This was the cut file, and it's a back, what am I trying to say, guys? It's a full back paper cut file. And so I decided to use just half of it, and I used my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit again because I have so many scraps, and so I could do a bunch of the these strips to go down the side, and it's a very colorful layout, and I think it works really good with the picture of my husband and I in front of the I Love St. Thomas sign. That's really colorful. And I used a piece of acetate to cover up the back of the cut file, and the Where To Next collection mostly, but I really like how that turned out. And so that's it, guys. That's gonna be the ones I got done. I think that's 15 or 16. It might be 16, so then I got more than half done, right? Let's say that, possibly. But I just love this collection, or this month. I love doing the cut files from MK and Janet. They always have really fun cut files, and it's always fun to, you know, some of the cut files I wouldn't necessarily have purchased myself, so because I usually will only purchase a cut file if I have something in mind. So it's like this one, I had to really think about where I could use that, and I really like that, just being able to find new ways to use the cut files so that I can use them all. Same with this one, like doing a stencil with it is fun. Like this calendar one, I probably wouldn't have purchased by itself because I don't necessarily know what I would want to use it with, but I have to force myself to think about where I can use that. And then in the end, it makes such a fun layout to have these cut files on it, you know, even when you have your moldy strawberries here, that cupcake is still really cute, or, you know, having these presents. And then I really had fun with these candles and trying to make them look like candles and using the Nuvo drops on them, and using backgrounds. That was the word I was looking for day 31, background, not backdrop, but using these backgrounds to get just different layouts than I normally would, and then getting to shrink them down and use them in my Pocket Full of Fun series as well. So I had a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone that has liked and subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit those buttons below. I would love to have you, and you can hit the little bell if you would like notification of when I have a new video. So thanks everyone, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!